The number one contributing factor to the uprisings is the internet. One of the main ways dictators maintain power in these areas and throughout history was to feed their people misinformation, to keep them, to very tightly control the amount of information they get and make sure every piece of it comes directly from the state. It's why a lot of Muslims here don't trust our media, because they come from countries where every media outlet's controlled by the state. Well, one of the things that they did, especially in the Muslim world, is your life stinks. We agree. But it's not because of us. It's not because of our government. It's because of the Jews. It's because of Israel. It's because of America. So after 40 years of this disinformation, you see stories like the Egyptian media, the state media, blames the Israeli Mossad for training sharks to attack Egyptians and only Egyptians off the coast of Sharm el-Sheikh. And the people believe it. You have the Iranian malacracy arresting pigeons and squirrels for spying on their nuclear facilities for Israel and the West, and the people believe it. So after 40 years of this, these people are inculcated, and then the Pew Institute goes to the Muslim world and polls and says, what do you think of America? Oh, they suck. Well, yeah, they've been fed tightly controlled misinformation by their overlords for decades. Of course they're going to say that. So what happened was, with the internet, between 2003 and 2008, we added 88.5 million internet users in North Africa and the Muslim world, which is where all these uprisings are occurring. As a result of this, you're getting real information leaking into this otherwise Orwellian worlds. And as a result, more and more people start to go, wait a minute. It's kind of like a international take on Reagan's assessment of liberals. It's not that liberals don't know, are ignorant, it's just they know so much that isn't so. I think these people in these countries, Tunisia, Egypt, Yemen, etc., went, we're not ignorant, we just know a bunch of stuff that isn't so. And as they got more information via the internet, it started bubbling up, and in a lot of ways, it parallels the Tea Party movement. Leaderless, kind of out of nowhere, all of a sudden these movements have occurred. Now, for the leftists out there, that's where the similarities end. The Egyptian movement is violent. The Tea Party movement, town hall after rally after election, the verdict's in. The Tea Party movement's not violent. Now, that being said, what's the first thing Egypt does when they figure out they got a problem on their hands? They shut down the internet. This is the government doing it. This isn't AT&T, this isn't Verizon, this isn't Comcast, this is the government. And we have here domestically a group of people, the media Marxists, who for the last 8 years have been demanding the government intercede and intervene on behalf of no one really in the internet between the corporations and themselves, and have the government be that intermediary, that enforced conscripted media intermediary, now decrying Egypt's government shutting down the internet. They're decrying, to a lesser degree because it's not as big a news story, Syria already tightly controls its internet. They have not had any uprisings. In anticipation of potential uprisings, they constricted on the throat further still of the internet. They're, without any sense of irony, without any sense of policy whiplash, decrying the Egyptian government for shutting down the internet. And, by the way, and this hasn't been talked about much either, not only did they do that, they shut down several phone services, cellular phone services. They commandeered some of them and started text messaging propaganda from the state on the cellular phone lines. Now remember, keep that in mind when the leftists complain that the FCC power grab didn't control wireless enough. Just saying, just saying. Now, when these people here then turn around again and say, we don't want the cybersecurity kill switch bill. Well, that's fantastic. But once you get the government involved, there's a potential for a cybersecurity, because last time I checked, the Egyptian parliament did not pass the cybersecurity kill switch bill. They just had access to the internet and they shut it down. They didn't deal with all the niceties of the legislation. So to say the bill, to decry the bill for the cybersecurity kill switch while simultaneously not requiring any sort of bill for net neutrality is, again, more of the whiplash-inducing policy schizophrenia that comes from the media Marxists. we're under cyber attack every minute of every day. The reason we don't know about it is because the internet service providers expertly handle it, make it go away before it ever gets to our inbox, before it ever gets to our computer. Every single day, we're under attack and they deal with it. And we don't know about it because it's so far removed from our experience on the internet with our computers, there's no need for us to know. So in the event of a bigger cyber attack, do we want to rely on the internet service providers who deal with it every day successfully, who have spent hundreds of billions of dollars devising, designing, implementing, and maintaining the internet infrastructure they're now going to be again charged with defending from this attack? Or do we want to bring in the government who can't deliver the mail? All of this overarching theme is the internet has grown into this massively successful thing without any government hook in it whatsoever. And what the left is trying to do is come up with any storyline to engender any support for any kind of government hook they can get, whether it's the cybersecurity kill switch bill, whether it's the net neutrality, anything to get any government hook in, because at the end of the day, if they don't have a hook, they can't ultimately do what Hosni Mubarak did in Egypt to try to quell the uprising in his country. Any storyline they can find, as I said, the hook was the evil internet service providers. But then, without even getting it, some of this was happening before the December 21st vote. They got excited. They got ahead of themselves. Net neutrality is any free market transaction in the internet is a net neutrality violation because they don't want free market transactions. They want government to be the sole provider of internet. So as the net neutrality definition morphed, it just demonstrated again that it's not what they say, it's what they mean. And what they mean is, let's undo the private investment in the internet, let's undo the private internet and have it be a government internet. And when it's a government internet, you very quickly go, well, that reminds me of Egypt.